It's Mansfield 103.2, the home of great music, Saturday breakfast. Good morning, 8:23. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend. One man that's had a very early start to his weekend actually began last night. Watko, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Right, you're very bright and breezy this morning.
Yes, I am.
Surprisingly so.
Not too bad. I survived the Big Snore 2014, which is the event that's been taking place at St Mark's Church in Mansfield. Last night into this morning, people sleeping rough in aid of the homelessness charity Framework.
3 years you've done this now.
This is the fourth year.
Fourth year.
4 years Mansfield 103.2 has been involved, and we were down there once again, a team of us fundraising. Myself.
Okay, who's in the team? Who's in the crew?
Stuart Nicholson from Drive was there as well. Graham Collis, our station engineer. Dave Plowright from Sales, and also Joe Watts, our station administrator. So it was the famous five down there last night, sleeping rough for Framework.
And of course, you're raising money, so justgiving.com/Mansfield 103 Big Snore 2014. Quite long, but we'll do it again. justgiving.com/Mansfield 103 Big Snore 2014 to help raise some money.
Yes, if you want to donate, please go on there. Lots of people down there. Over 120 people slept rough in St Mark's Church car park last night on what was one of the most inclement weather days yesterday, was it not? It was what a horrible day it was. It kind of dried up a little bit, but it did rain a couple of times overnight. And around about, they believe, Framework and the guys at St Mark's Church said this morning, whilst everybody was eating their lovely breakfast, which of course homeless people don't get, over £20,000, they reckon, was raised last night. This is the 10th year of the Big Snore. It's the 10th anniversary of the Big Snore. And it was kind of a celebratory event as well, 10 years of it happening down at St Mark's Church. So £20,000 was raised, but they reckon over those 10 years, £100,000 has been raised by over 500 people who've slept rough for one night, over the last decade.
Which is a fantastic effort. And if you want to find out more about the work that the guys down at Framework do, their website is frameworkha.org. They do a fantastic job. And, well done to you. 4 years on the bounce. Because I think, was it last year it was freezing cold? So I was thinking, this year it's going to be milder, it's going to be better for you, but the rain's got to be a big issue.
Well, you're talking of rain there. This is a little sound effect. If you bring down the music that you have there, this is a sound effect of what it sounded like in our boxes last night. So it doesn't sound too bad, but it was raining, so it's pitter-patter and difficult to get to sleep with that.
Oh, so that's rain. I just thought that was your crisp bag or something.
No, that's
sounds like
actual rain
crisps
from last night. And this morning I spoke to some of the crew, some of the Mansfield 103.2 crew, about their experience, and here's what they had to say.
Year 4, and I must admit that it was a very soggy and wet evening, I must admit, but all for a good cause, and Framework, I think have done an absolutely fantastic job in once again organising the event. So overall, it was enjoyable. Not a lot of sleep, though, about half an hour in my case.
Not a wink of sleep. We had 2 bouts of really heavy rain. Coming down on the tarpaulin, the boxes are saturated this morning. My sleeping bag is soaking wet. My trousers are wet. But I've had a good night.
Yeah, it was fine. In fact, I spent the whole night feeling rather warm until this morning, then I woke up freezing. But I think I got about 15-20 minutes sleep.
Oh dear.
I've had to ditch the soggy pillow. The cat isn't going to be happy when I get home, because that's the cat's pillow.
So that's Stuart there at the end from Drive. In the middle, Joe and Graham at the beginning there telling us about their experience at the Big Snore. I managed to get a few hours sleep. I did quite well. I think I did the best out of all of them, but I can sleep pretty much anywhere. That's one of my magic tricks.
That's one of your talents, is it?
Yes, it is. I've not got many talents, but one of them is being able to sleep pretty much anywhere. What a night it was, though. It was fantastic. The community feel, everybody pulling together, everybody building some amazing boxes that a lot of people have put thought into. If you'd seen ours, you would have thought it took us about 5 minutes to think about it, and maybe we didn't design it quite correctly because of obviously everything was sodden. But some amazing boxes down there shaped like Wendy houses, and one lady had created a box to make it look like a humpback whale.
Oh,
and it
really?
even had it was beautiful. It even had fairy lights on it. It was amazing.
In these weather conditions, that's quite apt as well, really.
Exactly. What better place for a whale but in the wet?
So, of course, again, just a quick reminder of our Just Giving page, justgiving.com/Mansfield103, Big Snore 2014.
And before I disappear, of course, I spoke to lots and lots of people down at the Big Snore, and you'll be hearing clips in the news this morning with Roger. I know you've already heard some people in the last news at 7. You'll be hearing stuff throughout today through until 1 o'clock in our news bulletins of what happened at the Big Snore last night. And really think about doing it next year. It's moving. The venue's moving. After 10 years at St Mark's Church, it's going to be going to the One Call Stadium. They're moving to Mansfield Town, so it's going to be a bigger event next year. We want as many people to think, hey, do you know what, I'm going to sleep rough for one night and hopefully make a difference in somebody else's life out there, somebody that is vulnerable, somebody that sleeps rough every night. I mean, we did it for one night. That's nothing. It was easy peasy. Those guys who are out there every night, we need to help those.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on your 4th year on the bounce, and you're already signed up for the 5th year down the One Call?
Well, it's I'm not going to put my name down quite yet, Si.
I just have done. It's 8:29.
When it's time to plan your company pension, choose...
Last night, more than 120 hardy souls took part in the Big Snore at St Mark's Church in Mansfield. The event, now in its 10th year, highlights the problem of homelessness in our area and is a massive fundraiser for the Framework Housing Association. This year it's expected that over £20,000 will be raised to help homeless people. We spoke to some of the fantastic folk who braved the cold and rain last night.
We've had howling gales, we've had freezing temperatures, and now we've had the rain. So we've had all the seasons. Just really just brings it back to you that we can all go home now and have a shower and go back for breakfast. And yet the people who are homeless have got to do the same thing tonight. That's why it's so important to keep going.
If I'm honest, I didn't get a minute's sleep. My cardboard box collapsed about 45 minutes into trying to sleep, and then a torrent of water landed on my head. But, that's all part of it. I'm not going to whinge about it. The people out there who are unfortunate enough to be homeless have to put up with these kind of temperatures and conditions night in, night out.
And well done to absolutely everybody that took part. On to sport, and Mansfield Town's 3rd long trip in a month sees...
Revellers feel safer on a Friday evening.
Last night, more than 120 hardy souls took part in the Big Snore at St Mark's Church in Mansfield. The event, now in its 10th year, highlights the problem of homelessness in our area and is a massive fundraiser for Framework Housing Association. This year it's hoped that around £20,000 will be raised to help homeless people in our area. The first ever snorer 10 years ago was Ian Dorham. Just 2 people did it then to raise money for a washing machine at Mansfield Sherwood Street Homeless Centre. They raised £400. Ian says he can't believe how the event has grown.
I don't think I could have envisaged how it's taken off. And folks have a good time. It's a fun event, but it has a serious meaning in that it raises money for a homeless charity. It enables Framework to do far more work than they would do without the funds, and I think it's a fantastic effort by all concerned.
The 10th annual Big Snore took place at St Mark's Church in Mansfield last night. Over the years, the event has raised huge sums for homeless charity Framework. The event continues to go from strength to strength. It's hoped that last night's event alone will raise around £20,000 to support local homeless people. More than 120 volunteers braved the winter weather to take part. Some of them told us about last night's experience.
I think it does make you realise even more when you're laying there, perhaps in the middle of the night, cold, and thinking, well, what do you do next, sort of thing. Some people haven't got a choice to go back to a nice warm house like we're going to in a little while.
My box disintegrated in the heavy rain, and I got a puddle inside my sleeping bag.
It was cold and wet, and my box was dropping apart.
It's been my 5th year this year. Every year we've had a different problem. So the first year we had the great wind and it was all windy. The second year we had the great freeze, it was all snow. And then this year it's been the great rain.
And David Price came all the way from Barnsley to do the Big Snore for a 2nd year.
I think we're the 8th wealthiest country in the world. I think it's very disappointing that people still manage to find themselves living rough or sleeping rough on the streets, and I think that's a bit of a shame on society, so I think every little bit helps. And it's very special down here in Mansfield. We don't really have anything like this in South Yorkshire to raise awareness, and you meet some good and special people, and I think the people of Mansfield are to be commended.
And huge congratulations to everybody that took part last night. 4-year-old children may have to sit tests when they start primary school under new government. At this stage, their death is not being treated as suspicious. Last night, more than 120 volunteers took part in the Big Snore at St Mark's Church in Mansfield. Over the 10-year lifetime of the event, it's raised more than £60,000 for homeless charity Framework. Next year, the event will move to the One Call Stadium to accommodate more people. Pam Bishop is one of the main organisers of the event, and she told us it's a bittersweet time for St Mark's.
I just feel that we're ready to move on and do something differently. I think it's had a jolly good start. And I look at all the young people who are walking by me now. Some of these youngsters from St Lawrence Man's Church, for example, they'll be going on and doing it for the next 10 years. And just to feel that something started and it was here at St Mark's and that it's gone on and that the relationship with Framework is still strong, yeah, it's a little bit emotional.
And well done to absolutely everybody that took part last night. Doctors have performed an emergency caesarean section. At this stage, the death is not being treated as suspicious. Last night, more than 120 hardy souls took part in the Big Snore at St Mark's Church in Mansfield. The event, now in its 10th year, highlights the problem of homelessness in our area and is a massive fundraiser for Framework Housing Association. This year, it's hoped that around £20,000 will be raised to help homeless people, and one lady was there to show her support after her own daughter needed help from Framework.
When she was about 13 or 14, she had some emotional problems. She ran away and we couldn't persuade her to come home, and Framework was there for her. So I am personally really grateful to Framework, so I'm just so pleased to be here. She's 19 now, she has a job, she's happy, so a really good sort of outcome.
The death is not being treated as suspicious. Over the last 10 years, the Big Snore has raised thousands of pounds for local homeless charity Framework. Last night, more than 120 people braved the cold and wet at St Mark's Church to raise money to provide much-needed services to homeless people. It's hoped that last night alone will have raised more than £20,000. Mansfield MP Sir Alan Meale has always supported the event and was there again last night. He paid tribute to everyone that took part and the organisers.
Framework in particular is fantastic. We've got the hostel, we've got the centre, all the work that they do here in Nottingham and elsewhere. They're unbelievable as an organisation. On top of that, the people in the Christian movement in Mansfield, yet again, they're there. People in the Scouts, the Girl Guides, the Boys Brigade, fantastic. And as I say, it's getting better because every year it gets bigger.